Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. Today we are going to be answering, or at least asking, a very simple question, and I've been asking this question to you guys all over the place on Twitter, on YouTube. I put out polls on both of those. The poll on YouTube I just put out recently, but it's already getting a ton of votes. I mean, this is just a hugely debated topic in the League of Legends scene right now, and this is the question, or the debate, the argument, whatever, of what TLs should do, even just like hypothetically or theoretically, because what they should do in reality, I think, is going to be a little bit different than what people think they should do in like a perfect world or whatever. And I'm going to explain that whole thing. But like, the question is, TL going forward, if what Travis Gafford is saying is true, and BJERGSEN and COREJJ will not play together anymore, and they don't get along in game. I don't think they have any like personal issues or anything like that. Not from what it sounds like. It sounds like they don't agree on how to play the game. It sounds like, at least according to the reports or the rumors or the predictions or whatever, that they probably won't play together again going forward in the future. What should TL do? Should they keep BJERGSEN? Should they keep COREJJ? Now, again, the reason why I say, like, whatever your answer is off the top of your head, it might actually be different in reality, is for so many different reasons. And Mark Z, I know, talked about this on Travis Gafford's channel, about blame game or whatever, like what TL should do. And there's for sure arguments to be made on both sides. Obviously, COREJJ and BJERGSEN both are great players with great resumes, great careers. They're both flawed players with some downsides, with some inconsistencies, and with not a whole lot of results as of late. A lot of the flame going around for BJERGSEN is that, hey, this guy sucks. This guy can't win anymore. This guy's washed up. Like, you can clearly see that. This is, clearly proven or whatever. But the interesting thing is that COREJJ doesn't get a lot of the same flack. And if you look, BJERGSEN has actually won an LCS championship more recently than COREJJ. Now, yes, obviously BJERGSEN went on to that Worlds. They went 0-6, yada, yada, yada. I'm not saying that, like, BJERGSEN is then clearly better than COREJJ, but I'm just saying BJERGSEN won a title in summer of 2020. COREJJ, I don't believe, has won a title since summer of 2019. And COREJJ just has 2 titles in the LCS, and that's all, while also factoring in that BJERGSEN didn't even play last year, where COREJJ had an extra 2 splits to potentially win something over BJERGSEN, and he still did not. COREJJ has also played on some very damn good teams. He has had Jensen, he has had Impact, he has had Double Lift, he has had, just a ton of really good players around him. And yes, BJERGSEN had a very good team around him this year, but BJERGSEN also played on some TSM teams that didn't necessarily have as much talent, especially when compared to some of these TL teams. So, I don't know. That point I think is kind of weird. The fact that BJERGSEN hasn't been as successful or as winning lately, because neither has COREJJ. Coming off this past season, obviously a lot of people are saying, oh, you can clearly see BJERGSEN was washed. BJERGSEN sucked. He got gapped in this game, or he didn't show up in this game, or he's just too safe. He's a KDA player, yada, yada, yada. But again, I think a lot of those same things apply to COREJJ as well. COREJJ did not have a good year this year. I really don't think he had all that great of a 2021 either, at least, especially like 2021 summer. I was not all that impressed with COREJJ, but 2022, I mean, he just was not that great. He didn't make a lot of insane plays. He wasn't, I mean, before everyone's talking about him as like a perennial MVP candidate or something like that. And I still think that's a little bit weird, because again, if he was that good, TL would probably be, finding themselves in bigger games and winning bigger games and stuff more often. Yet time and time again, TL finds themselves coming up like a game short at Worlds or in the LCS or whatever. But that's kind of besides the point. COREJJ and BJERGSEN have both not been that great the last couple of years, but I think they've both been good. I think it's weird, because I think COREJJ has been a little bit overrated, but I don't think he's bad. And I think BJERGSEN is being a little bit underrated, but I don't think he's like amazing. I really think they're both close, but just in different ways than a lot of people are saying. So overall, I think the debate between who to keep between COREJJ and BJERGSEN, just in a vacuum, is very close. And that's why I think you really could go either way. But when you actually look at what's going on, it really doesn't make too much sense to me to go anywhere except for keeping BJERGSEN going forward into the future. And this is assuming that both players are still going to try to play in 2023, that both players are interested in staying with you, which, like, those things don't even have to necessarily be true. There's a world where COREJJ retires. There's a world where BJERGSEN retires. There's a world where COREJJ wants to leave TL. There's a world where BJERGSEN wants to leave TL. But when you start taking a look at some of the facts and some of the things that are going on, one, Bjergsen is under contract. I think he signed until 2023, so I think he has one more year left on his contract. Yeah, obviously, if you wanted to sell him off, somebody's probably going to buy Bjergsen for a pretty penny. And again, if you want to get rid of Bjergsen or he wants to leave, whatever, you can get rid of him. So that's not so much of an issue, but he is under contract. You do have him for another year. COREJJ is not. COREJJ is a free agent, meaning, again, he's not on your team. So one, you're going to have to pay him. You're going to have to agree to a new contract with him or whatever if you want to sign him. But also if he wants to leave or if there's a better opportunity out there, say 100 Thieves, say C9, say whatever else, or he wants to retire or wants to go into coaching or streaming or whatever, TL can't make him stay. TL can't make him come back. He is a free agent. Also, when you're talking about kicking either one of these players, you have to then say, well, who is going to replace them? And when you start looking, obviously, the mid lane pool in North America has been a big question pretty much since its inception. It is very, very hard to find suitable mid laners. Every team would love to have a mid laner, which makes it even more crazy that Jensen was a free agent this last split, especially when he's a resident in North America as well. Makes absolutely no sense. And the fact that Niski couldn't get on a team, like, I don't know. There's a bunch of and there always has been a bunch of bad mid laners in the LCS. Now, the mid lane pool in the LCS is really stronger than it has ever been before. I mean, there was a lot of guys that looked really, really good this year. It helped that Palafox was good. It helped that Jojo Pune came in and was good. Takoi was good. Maple came in and was decent. But are there still a bunch of really good mid laners left in Academy at this point? I don't know. It seems like we just brought in a really, really nice group of guys and brought back Bjergsen and brought back Jensen. And we have like a really strong, not a really strong pool, but like one of the strongest mid lane pools in the LCS ever. But do we have more? Can we just keep building it up and keep making it stronger, keep making it stronger? I don't know. Does TL want to call up Harry? Hyeri? I don't know how you say it. Do they want to try and go and get a guy like, I don't know, VTO or Humanoid or whatever when they're talking about we don't want to build super teams anymore, we want to bring people up from within or build people up from within? I don't know. None of those options stand out as making a whole lot of sense for Team Liquid at this point or being significantly better or even comparable to Bjergsen. But when you look at supports, there is a lot of options in North America. We saw Chime come up this past season for TSM and be pretty dang good at sometimes, playing even on a not very good TSM team. And we know that there is supports around that are rated higher than Chime. There is obviously guys like Busio with 100 Thieves. There is a guy like Ayla with TL right now. That is the call-up that just makes the most sense, is just to bring Ayla up. It would be cheaper. They don't have him under contract. I think Ayla is actually about to be a free agent, so they'd have to re-sign him, but they're not going to be paying him the money that you would pay to like a COREJJ or a Bjergsen or something like that. So I don't know. At the end of the day, I think the Bjergsen and COREJJ debate is very, very close, but really I see everywhere. When I put out my Twitter poll, YouTube poll, from everywhere I'm seeing on Reddit, YouTube, Twitter, everything, it seems like a lot of people are leaning towards COREJJ, and I don't really understand it. There is just a lot of Bjergsen slander right now. I think people are partly just, over the days of like when he was on TSM and they were super good, and TSM has a bunch of obnoxious fans. People hated TSM. People hated seeing them win and win and win, and now that he's, not at that level anymore, people want to kind of kick him while he's down a little bit, and I get that. And also COREJJ has been the kind of franchise player for Team Liquid, especially since Doublelift left, and it is weird that Bjergsen comes in for 1 year and then they're going to choose him over COREJJ when COREJJ has been their guy for so long. But again, COREJJ has not been playing all that amazingly, and he is a free agent, and also you just brought in Bjergsen and kicked Jensen to do it. I don't think you're going to bring in Bjergsen to kick Jensen and then bring in somebody else to kick Bjergsen right after that and then end up with neither Bjergsen or Jensen when you had both of them. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I also saw this post on Reddit, which I thought was actually pretty interesting, and I tweeted this out. I said, yeah, Bjergsen is washed. They should kick him, I think. Clown emoji, laughing emoji. And this person on the TL subreddit, and this tweet popped off, 229 likes. That's a lot for me. This person tweeted or put out on Reddit, they said, Bjergsen in summer had the most player of the game awards on TL. He had the #1 laning stats, and that's very, very big. He had the best laning stats of any mid laner in the LCS. I know Jojo Pune was also very, very good in lane, but like Bjergsen and Jojo were the best laners, like highest CSD, highest gold differential. they were really, really good. Bjergsen was good in lane. He was tied for the number 1 most unique picks. He was tied for number 2 in most kills for mid laners. And then people will say, oh, well, he's just a KDA player. Well, no, he's also number 3 in DPM. You know, he was getting kills and doing a lot of damage and winning lane a lot. Like, people say he was boring or passive. And I get it, because there were times where he was not making the big play. There were times where he would get a big lead in lane, he would get some kills, and then he just wouldn't make that play to win the game or to put the game over the top. And then he has the bad Akali game in the playoffs. You know, there was a lot of people, and there were reasons to be critical of him, but like overall, Bjergsen didn't throw many games for TL. He didn't make so many disgusting mistakes that they lost, and a whole lot of other players in the LCS and around the world make plays like that. And yeah, Bjergsen should have and could have maybe made the big play to win the game more often, but he also kept TL in those situations where they even had a chance to win those games very often as well. And the case could be made, well, hey, why wasn't COREJJ making those big plays to win the games for us either, considering we were in a lot of close games? He was also number 3 in kill participation. He was tied for 4th in most blind picks, so he was blind picking a lot, which obviously is going to, you know, put himself in harder situations. He was the only mid laner in the LCS to deal more damage than his AD carry while also getting less gold, which shows that there was obviously issues going on in the team. He wasn't getting as much gold as he wasn't getting as many resources as he maybe needed or deserved, and his AD carry also wasn't doing that good with the resources. So you can say, hey, he should have been making the big plays to win the game, but I'm sure his argument would be, hey, we were putting a ton of resources into Hans, and he ain't winning us games either. He was one of only 2 mid laners in the LCS to have less gold than both his top laner and AD carry. So again, he's getting less resources than most other mid laners in the LCS and still doing a lot of damage, still getting a lot of kills. He's blind picking, he's unique picking, and he was praised by Inspired as the runner-up for MVP as well. So overall, I really think the Bjergsen flame and slander has been largely overstated, and I think people are talking themselves into the fact that COREJJ is like the clear guy to keep, when I really think Bjergsen in so many ways is the guy to keep, and I also think he's just a guy that TL is going to keep because it makes more sense in so many ways, and it's just a position they're in. Also, Bjergsen, insane brand, following, fan base, all that stuff. And again, this was Bjergsen's first year back. If Bjergsen is committed to, you know, playing for the next 2-3 years and he has a chance to continue to get better and ramp up, yeah, he wasn't playing last year, and I do think this offseason and headed into next year, we will probably see a better version of Bjergsen than we did in 2022. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Do they decide to go with Bjergsen? Do they decide to go with COREJJ? Who is going to replace Bjergsen or COREJJ? Where is Bjergsen or COREJJ going to end up going next? Are they going to play? Are they going to retire? I don't know. So many questions, but we had to answer the question, or at least talk about and have the debate of Bjergsen or COREJJ, because that is at least seemingly a decision Team Liquid is going to have to make this offseason. And no matter which decision they make, some people are going to be upset, and lucky for us, we're going to get to see how it all plays out. But that's pretty much it for this video today, guys. Let me drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate that so much. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about anything we talked about in this video today. Subscribe, save today, and all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.